And we're still here. Unbelievable. Welcome to We Weren't Friends in High School, the podcast where I reunite with classmates from my graduating class of Wissahickon High School, class 2001. My name is Brad Corbett. Welcome. First of all, I just have to thank everybody. Episode 102 got an incredible amount of feedback. I want to thank Eric, again, for not just the interview, but sharing the episode and interacting with basically everyone that was commenting on the episode on social media. And I want to thank everyone who is spreading the word about the podcast in general. Literally every day, I hear from someone new and completely unexpected who has listened. And I attribute that to you guys getting out there and spreading the word, keeping it fresh in the timelines, and being super supportive. So thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. This episode features Danielle Cataldi. Danielle was really busy in the middle of me trying to schedule her on this podcast. And she was house hunting, and she's got a son, and she has a job. And it took a few weeks to nail down a day to do this. So this is actually the start of me leaving the house and doing a little bit of travel to get the next 3 interviews done. I actually did 2 interviews this day, and I will tell you at the end of this episode who the second interview was with as a little bit of a teaser. This is a hyper-local episode of We Weren't Friends in High School. Danielle and I both grew up in Ambler, and I think I had a real interest in talking about the old days of the neighborhood just as much as the old school. And yes, we do get into some conversation about the late, great Mr. Dreger, who I think pretty much everyone successfully called out on social media. So way to go, guys. You nailed it. And look out for that conversation squirrel. So I'll just, to let you know, we've started. Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Brad.
Thanks for having me in your home.
Thanks for coming.
When I started this, I wasn't sure if I was going to go to people's places and do interviews, or if I was going to try and get people to come to my place. And then Mike Clyburn was the first one to be like, oh yeah, I'll come to your place. So then I was like, I got all these, like, I got mic arms and stuff in my place, and I have like a second room where you like set up stuff and soundproofing and all that. And but prior to that, I bought a bunch of mic arms because I thought, I'm going to have to be ready to go. And I'm thinking, what height am I going to use? What if they don't have a table? So the fact that
I have the basics. So
you have it, it's perfect. And so the fact that I'm now it's the first time I'm actually able to use them for what I bought these for.
Oh, good.
So it makes me feel good that I'm getting a little bit more mobile.
Good. I gave the thumbs up.
Yeah.
You can't see that.
It's the 5th of July. Or it's the 6th of July. Yesterday was the 5th. So the Ambler fireworks were yesterday. Mm-hmm. You were out there?
Yes, I marked my territory the night before. Went and put my big tarp out there. And so we had fun.
It was fun, right?
We did get rained on a little bit by the fireworks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the debris. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we looked like we were in an episode of Mary Poppins afterwards because, sweeping chimneys. Because we had all the stuff on us. But yeah, it was good.
I had to wear my sunglasses. At some point, I was just getting stuff right in my eyes. And
I did pop my umbrella for a minute, but then I thought that was unfair to the people behind me.
You. That's good. You go every year?
Every year.
I've seen you a few times out there. Mm-hmm. That's one of the good times. But you're actually one of the people that I think I see around just in places. When I first kind of came back to the area, I started seeing you like in Bluebell and different places in Ambler. I run into your mom from time to time at bars.
Yep.
Obviously, your brother's extremely visible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're a bit of an Ambler staple. The Cataldi name is a bit of a... It really is, right? There's there's some people, and I don't know, maybe because we... I don't know if grew up together is a strong word, but we at least grew up around each other.
Yeah.
Starting from like Madison Avenue.
Good old Madison.
I know. I feel like I have a special bond with people that... from Madison Avenue because it was such a small, weird.
Yeah, the OG crew from Madison.
Yeah. Who did you have in Madison for kindergarten?
Kindergarten, I want to say Graybill.
Graybill.
Yeah, that name sticks out.
I had Mrs. Jones.
Miss Lawrence, I see actually at the Wawa in Springhouse.
Really?
All the time, but I don't say anything to her really.
Why not?
I don't know.
She definitely remembers you.
Between
you and your brother, she might even know who you are.
Yeah, well, she did the one time. I said I saw her at the Giant I was like, oh, hi, because I had Angela with me, and I was like, this was my teacher. And he was like, yeah, whatever. That was when he actually cared when he was younger. Now he's a teenager, so he...
It's all eye rolls.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care.
Mom.
Yeah.
What was it? You lived in this area in Ambler. Were you in this part of this side? Were you on the other side of Madison? What part of Ambler were you on? I always have like divisions of Ambler in my head.
Yeah, I was always like behind St. Anthony's.
Oh,
So, but I've moved around. Like I've been on Park, and but I've never gone over to like Knights Park side.
Okay. Always on that side then. What's your seeing then? You walked around for the Ambler Festival, walking around and seeing everything. I mean, our school now is no longer even a school.
Yeah.
And seeing it kind of, everything was kind of transformed into a festival, and you see all the restaurants, and you mentioned how your son is at one of these breweries. What is, when you see this transformation, you're still living in it. For me in the city, it's cool to see stuff happening, but it's not where I grew up.
Yeah.
What's it like for you to live here and see it transform?
It's cool, but it's also like Madison, I feel like a piece of us is gone because that's no longer Madison Avenue. I like the home knit, smaller schools. Like North Penn has 1,000 in graduating classes.
Yeah, more.
Ours is nearly, that. So I think the close knit area is good, or the close knit type vibe is good. But it's good to bring business. Not good for me parking, but but it's good for business, and I'm happy to see Tim and Mac and them being successful, because that was like they've been at that for a while at Tannery Run.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
that's all. Yeah, the local businesses it's really cool to see, and people supporting them.
Yeah, and hiring my son.
when we grew up, my mom and I were talking about this yesterday, or someone like the businesses were so revolving. Mm-hmm. Especially on Butler Pike, when we were growing up, and there were a few staples. There was a seafood spot, and there was the shoe store.
Yeah, the seafood spot where Rita's was, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, or Rita's is. Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember that.
I feel like Taki worked there, and
I feel like he did.
Yeah, and Regan's shoe store, and Denny's Electric, and Candida's Pizza, and now when you look around, Denny's is the only one of those four that are left. Even the newsstand, not by fault, but
Dex, but they're off. They're off of
Dex is still
Butler.
going, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I look at like maybe a few mechanics, and it really is. I guess this is what's happening everywhere, and people are being infused gentrification. I guess, but it's weird because Ambler's always been such a racially mixed neighborhood, so it's weird to see gentrification in that way happen here.
I think it's still maintained. It's mixed. I mean, I think they've incorporated some more now, but especially seeing all the different stores. Like you have your Indian food, you have your Italian, and you have now they have sushi.
I was there a couple weeks ago. It's very good. I will not be
partaking in because I don't eat any type of fish or seafood. But but it's great to see all the new businesses. And Candida's is gone, and they put. I think it's like a West Indian food there.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
I'll tell you, I walked by one day and I saw, I think it was like goat and peanut stew or soup or something.
Oh, okay.
And that was it for me.
You're out on the goat.
I'm very, very picky. I'm a very picky eater, so I just keep it simple, and that was not on the simple menu. But
that's okay. They have markets still here around in the area a little bit, and do you like the co-op?
Yeah, I've only been there a couple times though.
Yeah.
Even though it's close to me, I just rather go to what I'm used to.
You mentioned that North Penn has like 1,000 kids, whatever, in every class, and we had 300 or so, which is something that makes this podcast a little bit more feasible for me, I think.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If you had to do 1,000, geez.
It'd be a lot. 300 some's going to be a lot. But I think it also, kind of affects, I feel like everyone knows everybody. One thing though is I am starting to learn is that I don't know everybody, and looking at the yearbook, I go, I don't know who that person is. Who the heck is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is that? But the majority we know. And the majority we've known since we grew up. So I mentioned, we've kind of known each other. But when you were kind of coming up prior to high school, who did you hang out with? Was it location based? Was it?
I think so. Like you kind of go through stages with friends. I've known Melissa Shellhammer since we were in preschool.
Wow.
Miss Jones' little school, I think it was. And whenever the fire whistle went off, she would cry. Sorry, Melissa. But so I just remember that. Now they've moved it from over there to over here. But so it's very noisy. But so her, Heather Goodwin, Adrienne Forbes.
Yeah.
When I was younger, we used to hang out. But I haven't heard about her in years.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like moved away. Like when I got into high school, I did the tech school thing. So kind of switched groups. But I remember we would go on the tech bus, Nikki Burrell. I'm sure I'm leaving people out. I don't remember. But I have really bad memory. But it's funny to see the stages of different people that like you hang out with and how you grow into different groups. Aziza Gaber.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was we had some fun times. Christina
McDowell?
No, not too much her. A little bit of her, but
Another Christina?
Chris Kitano?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember we had some fun times as well. So
you said in and out of like different phases. So your friends really did your friends change from those people you mentioned is kind of over the whole span. So they kind of changed all throughout. What was that like for you then as a girl? So you're the first woman that I've talked to. I don't know what it's like to be a woman in high school. I know what it's like to be me.
Oh, man,
and that's not even comparable to other people. But for you, you know, what was that like for friendships and?
Well, you know, I feel like no matter what your age, you go through, you know, girls always have their little spats and, you know, they can be catty and whatever. But I feel like at the end of the day, like we're all adults now and we're all, you know, we all talk. But I do feel that back when we were in high school, the bullying and the, you know, the teasing and stuff wasn't as bad as it is now. Like I hear stories now and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
did you get it bad in high school? Were you teased?
I don't really think so. If I did, I deleted that out of my brain. I don't really remember. I think everybody gets, you know, your you know, teasing here and there, but nothing to the point like where stuff is going down crazy.
Yeah.
Like nowadays. So if I did, it's deleted.
You're over it.
Yeah, you're all forgiven.
So that's good that you're able to. I think one of the things that I'm starting to learn a little bit is that I probably had a very eye-opening conversation with Eric Coxon. And I think, and as I continue to reflect on that conversation, I think I found that I took things so much more personal. Oh. And I don't know if I was holding on to things so much. Like I didn't go into any of these things like anger or anything like that, but I definitely remember things, and I definitely thought that things felt more personal.
Were you bullied?
Than they did. I don't know if I was bullied. I think I invited. I think I instigated and invited confrontation.
Oh, okay.
And when you do that, then you have to kind of play that out. And your options at that point are to live up to the confrontation that you invited,
sink or swim.
Or try to avoid it and then accept the fallout from everyone else once everyone watched you start it and then back away from it.
I just think I tried to just like skate through. Yeah. And, you know, get through high school, do what I got to do, get my diploma and go.
Get out of
there. Yeah. And now that we're adults, I'm like, you know, I could go back to high school.
Yeah.
Not that I would want to do all the learning and stuff. It's just that
the social aspect?
Adulting. Adulting is like, you know, it's not.
Just way better when you weigh the options.
Yeah. Cause that's what I tell my son now. I'm like, enjoy that you're in high school and you don't have to worry about, you know, paying bills and, you know, car notes and things like that. So
yeah, we grew up together and I don't think, we weren't friends, and I don't think we were, for instance, Stacey Lenz likes to describe me as her arch nemesis.
Really?
Yes. So we weren't that, but I would say that we would be adversarial at times. Why do you think? And
you and I?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. See, this is what Eric said.
I don't remember that. I just remember like Young's Regency, like that picture I posted.
What is it?
Oh, like the picture I posted on Facebook.
Regency?
Isn't that the name of it?
I don't know.
Young Skating Rink.
Oh, Young Skating Rink.
Oh, sorry, Regency.
Oh. Yes, Young Skating Rink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Young Skating Rink. That was. Whew.
I think it was.
You were only cool if you could skate backwards.
I don't think I could do that.
I couldn't either.
Did you do the hand holding?
I don't think I had anybody to hold hands with.
Yeah, see me either.
Womp womp. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that when we were, and this is where maybe I just take it, and I think maybe this is good for me because I think I'm learning stuff about myself. Mm-hmm. I think once you move past the age of like you have to be friends with people in your grade school, I felt like so many people took different routes, and I think I maybe internalized that so much more personal of, oh, why aren't we friends anymore? Why don't we talk anymore? Why don't we do that anymore?
Oh, instead of just life.
Yeah, instead of just that just happened.
Yeah, yeah, because I don't remember us beefing.
I don't remember us beefing, but I feel like I poked the bear. I instigated stuff, or I would make smart comments, or I would never shut up.
I don't remember that. Now that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
No, this is great.
Because my memory, like I said, is awful. But I don't remember that. I think if it were like super impactful, I would have remembered it.
See, now these are like weights off my shoulder that start to come off.
Oh, you're good.
Where I go, yeah, these things weren't big deals, and that wasn't your persona so much.
Oh yeah, I also get that people thought that I was snobby.
Really?
And I guess because I have resting bitch face, that I actually have a picture right there. My mom gave me, and that was the beginning of RBF right there.
That's so great.
So I think people took that as like I was standoffish, or like I'm better than you. Yeah. So I don't know if that maybe came off, but I mean, I'm nice.
No, I think you're. So that's the thing. When I reflect back on things like that, I go, I would have no idea why I would have a problem with Danielle, or anyone for that matter. But I could see myself if my brain cycled into something that I heard or came across, I'll comment on that. And I think that was more of what I perceived my reputation to be at that time. But I think whereas I probably did that to 25 different people, I probably only did it to that one specific person one time, to where they just go, I don't remember, it meant nothing to me.
Yeah, I feel like if it were something deep, I would have remembered it. But no, I don't remember, having any type of conflict.
That makes me feel so good.
Yeah, you are forgiven for whatever you thought you did.
What was your social life like in high school? What did you do after school?
I remember we used to just like it was like me, Melissa, Lisa Bevilacqua. She was I think she graduated same year as my brother, so 99. I'm sure there's other people, Nikki Hare. So I'm sure there's other people that I'm forgetting. We used to just walk around, go to Candida's, grab a slice, or whatever, just chill and do teenage things. Yeah. Walk. Where is it? Under the one creek or whatever it is that run. I think it's Tannery Run actually, that runs under, like behind Denny Electric. Oh. There's we used to hang out down there. And,
yeah.
So
have good times.
Yes, we would enjoy life. But yeah, otherwise.
That's cool. So that would be kind of your vibes. Like some people were partiers, some people were video gamers.
Yeah, I was not in the gaming scene. I wouldn't say I was a super partier, but we would just, whatever, hang out in the park or whatever. And then, because it was close to everyone, where we lived. Yeah. The park was right in my backyard when I grew up. So we would just meet down there, hang out. In the summer or in the winter, we would sled down the one hill. And is that called Ambler Park?
Which
Ambler Borough Park, right behind, it's between Tennis and Belmont. I think that's what it's called. I don't know that one.
We had an Ambler Park, but that was in South Ambler, so I don't know. This is what I mean by Ambler felt so divided.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah. I think it's called Ambler Borough Park, and it's where they had the Easter egg hunt and everything. Okay. Yeah. So there was a big hill back there. I don't know what the name of that side road is, but Mr. Tweedy used to live on the corner, and then you go down to the road, and it's a dead end, and there was a huge hill back there, and we used to sled down that hill.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. We only had an asbestos hill.
I'm sure that was very enjoyable.
That was always the joke in South Ambler that a lot of us had big feet. And so the joke would always be we had like mutant feet because we were eating the snow in the asbestos hill. What do they call it? Like a super site? Ambler's like a super site or something like that because of the asbestos?
I don't know. I know they did something with it, some project or whatever.
They buried it and underground and something like that.
Who knows?
Yeah. So you hung around the neighborhood, walked around, hung with friends. Did you work at all?
I did babysitting gigs, and then once I turned 14, I worked at Axe, the retirement home.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if it was before or after that I worked at, I forget the name of the pizza place. It's like Il Giordano's now or something, but it was in Spring House. I think it was called Pete's something. It burned down. But not by me. I was not doing anything wrong in there. But that was very brief. I wouldn't say it was the best place. But yeah, so then I worked at Axe, and then I think I was like 14 and 15, and then I did a brief stint at Gennardi's.
Supermarket run, yeah. Yeah,
that was I remember there was a manager or somebody up there. He had me like pull out like all where they have, when you go to check out, they have the like the end caps there with all the gum and the candy and whatever, and he told me to pull all of those out and sweep them, and I did that, and then he there was something that he didn't like about it. And then he called me stupid or an idiot or something. So of course, being a young girl and a man, like an older man calling me that, and I called my mom and I was like, I need to leave. And she went up there and she gave him a piece of her mind, and she stuck up for me, and I was like, all right. But yeah, so that was the end of my Gennardi stint. Yeah. And I don't remember. Oh, and then I went to Flowertown Bakery.
Oh, okay.
I was there during tech school I'm sure there was another job in there somewhere.
So did you go to tech school for bakery?
Yeah, I went there for culinary and then focused on the pastry art side.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Did you like that?
I did. I just didn't pursue it as a career. I still do it on the side. I like bake and cook and all of that, but I never put it into a career.
What was that like going to tech school? I feel like the reputation of tech school was always that's where the stupid kids go because they don't want to be in school for half the day. I think there was a real bias in our era of everyone has to go to college. I know I felt a lot of pressure not having a clue exactly how to go to college or what I wanted to do. And I don't know if tech school was the thing that I wanted to do, but I do wish I had some sort of a trade or skill. And I think nowadays people are really waking the youth up to, hey, go learn something because that's evergreen. Right.
Because even if you do go to college and pursue, whatever type of degree you want to pursue, if you went to tech school and you have that trade behind you, you have a plan B if you ever need to. I'll tell you, a success story, not because I'm biased because he's my brother, but my brother went to tech school. He went for carpentry. And I mean, he just moved up in his union. I think he's delegate now. If he listens to this, sorry, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So he's very high up in his union and he's super successful, and that's his trade. So, I mean, people can hate on it and think that it's, for dumb people, but.
And I'm not saying that it is. I just think that was the reputation because when you leave school for half the day and you're not doing, if we have to do,
it was haters.
Yeah, jealousy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
jealousy.
They're like they get to leave, and we're here with Mr. Dreger.
Mr. Dreger, thank you. So Eric brought that name up when we were talking, and we couldn't think of his name.
Oh yeah, we had him as a full-time sub for history class. Don't ask me the actual teacher's name because I don't remember his.
Yeah,
but Mr. Dreger, man, we would have all those stories about him meeting George Washington and all of that. And he had the same outfit on every single day, same stains, everything. But I loved it.
He was like a 90s sitcom teacher. Like he had the suspenders, the Coca-Cola lens glasses, the stories of World War II and World War I.
And the Last Supper.
And the Last Supper. It was pretty. And that hot button. He was a nice guy, but he had that hot button temper. And if you thought you were trying to play him for a sucker, he would get a little stern with you.
I remember somebody said something to him, and it was just like that. It was like the flip of a switch, and he was just like, rah, 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 rah. We were like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Because we were just chilling. Like, we didn't learn anything in that class because he didn't do anything.
No.
We learned about his life and stories and his wife and all of that. But as far as like the curriculum, yeah, not so much. But yeah, it was. But somebody said something that he did not agree with, and it was just like, holy hell. But yeah.
Did you have a favorite teacher or class?
Mr. Johnston was very nice on the eyes that all of the girls thought. So that made math a little easier because that was not a great subject for me. Math and science were like awful for me all the time. And at tech school, things were easier as far as, you know, the classes. I'm sure they still had to follow the same curriculum, but it was just, I feel like, more lax.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we had to get our stuff in, too. It's not for the dummies. Yeah.
I think your brother's a great example because, you know, again, me working at Wawa and him being a little bit older, I saw him in the mornings on the weekends. You know, I'd be there at 7 a.m. and he'd be there at 7 a.m. getting his coffee, headed out to work. And then through Facebook and just seeing how he's continued to grow in a career that he's literally been in since he was like 16 years old.
Yeah.
For me, who, you know, I feel like I'm in a very volatile industry that I try to partake in, but for someone to see someone stay in the same industry, same jobs for over a decade, man, I wish I could have some sort of security like that.
Yeah, it's admirable. Like I think I thought, one, I wasn't a morning person. Still, I'm not a very good morning person. But so I don't know if that's why I like started to steer away from the baking, but I just didn't think that it had like the money that I was looking for. And then I wound up, you know, having a kid. So that took over my focus, and I'm not gonna. He's
how old were you?
I was 20 when I had him.
So just a couple years out of graduation.
Just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're 24 now. And,
yes. Yeah. So.
He's coming up on his 5th birthday.
Yes, indeed. Oh my God, if he were that young again, I'd be so. Oh.
He'd still be 6'2".
Yeah. He's but he's 16 and he's great. He's learning how to drive, so that's a learning experience for both of us because I feel like at our age, like, or our generation, like we learned kind of young, or maybe because like I was always around like ATVs and stuff. My dad had them, and we had go-karts and all of that, so it just kind of came naturally to me. But I always joke around and say that I was driving since I was 3, but that's a lie because I did drive through the garage when I was 3 years old. I went in and grabbed my mom's keys, and I actually climbed the fence to go in and get the keys.
Nice.
Climbed the fence to get back down. Ran over my brother's foot on the way down the driveway to the garage. He was fine.
Yeah, got over it quick.
Yeah. I think they were more concerned about the damage that I had just done. I was fine. I didn't have like a scratch, a scrape, nothing, a broken bone. Fine.
Yeah.
Garage, yeah, I mean, it was totaled. But yeah, so I joke around and say, oh, I've been driving since I was 3. But yeah, it's an experience trying to
teach him how to drive.
Yeah, and remain calm and not be like,
I saw your video. I told you it was very reminiscent of my memories of my mom teaching me to drive. And I was a late bloomer. I don't think I got my license until I think I got it the last day of 11th grade. And my mom during that whole learning period, and it didn't last long with her, she had to get me an instructor because she just couldn't do it. It was driving around the parking lot, the braking, the bracing, everything she thinks is going to be me, you know, taking us through the trees and over the curb. And so it's funny, especially to see someone again that I grew up with now going through that cycle.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I do find myself looking for that brake pedal that's not there. My mom is like that to this day. She is a very bad back seat, front seat, side seat, any seat driver. So it's quite funny. But you will have to do the driver's training. Yeah. You get a discount on your insurance.
Yeah.
But I think with me, like, we just have to figure out our communication without me screaming at him.
Yeah, because that doesn't make it better, right?
We did that once. I felt bad.
What was that like being like a young mother growing up, being 20? Everyone's always doing different stuff, and I think that's kind of like what my mom's era. My mom, I thought, was a late mom. I felt like a lot of the moms that we grew up with were in their 20s when they had kids our age. So what was that like for you?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was all peachy all the time. He is like the best thing that's ever happened to me, but it was a struggle at times. You know, people look at you differently when you're younger and you have a kid, and you know, I would go in places. I remember I was shopping for his first birthday, and we were at some paper goods supply in Glenside, Standard something. So we were over there, and the guy's like, "Oh, it was me and my two cousins. Now they're younger than me." And I was holding Angelo, and he's like, "So, you know, who's kid?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's mine." He's like, "You're 16." I was like, "No, I'm not." I was like, "I'm, you know, however old." So, I do feel like, you know, people look down on you because you're a young mom. But now, I'm like, "Angelo, I'm cool." It's like, your mom's young. She's cool.
Yeah.
Like, because all of the kids in his grade, like, most of their parents are, you know, in their 40s and some in their 50s, and they're older. So I'm like, you know, at least, and it's funny because some of the lingo that I use has, like, from when we were younger or whatever, it's come back full circle. So
Really?
they use it too. Because I said something, and he's like, "I didn't even know you knew that word," because, you know, parents aren't cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh yeah, definitely. That's like from when I was younger." And he's like, "Oh, didn't know that." So
That's awesome.
it surprised him. But yeah, it's I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you think well, obviously then I guess do you feel like you relate to him better, being that you're not of his generation, but you're still pretty connected to his, you know, I have friends that are probably not much older, you know, than him, that I like to stay connected to because I like to. Do you feel like it prepares you more versus someone who might be a little bit older, a little bit more removed?
yeah, I do think it makes a difference because, like, say you're 60 years old and, you know, you're a father, you're 60 years old and your kid's 18. I feel like there's kind of like a disconnect, but when you're younger, you're more aware. The older parents, I feel like they're not as intuitive, or maybe they don't really know the real things that are going on behind the scenes. So that's just my perspective.
Yeah.
There's probably some hip 60-year-olds, but I'm just saying. So for me, I think it does have, like, we have a closer bond because of it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's that been like, having a son, going through, you know, having career, things like that? Just like I don't know anything about adulthood, Danielle. So
Oh,
clue me in.
well, let me tell you.
You know, what is that like as far as just, you know?
It's it can be difficult at times, I think. Like, everybody has a day like where they just need like a mental health day, and they're like, I'm staying home, I'm staying in bed, or just staying in, you know, to do whatever. And just relax and decompress or whatever. But fortunately, I have been at a company since September of last year that is like perfect. They're a great company to work for. They allow me to work from home at times, so that makes it like super easy. Just roll out of bed, flip open the laptop, and start your day. So it makes it more tolerable, I would say, than a job that you go to that you hate. Like, I've also had that as well. And, I mean, I just would be like, you know what? I feel a cold coming on. I'm not gonna go in today, just because I couldn't stand the place. It was super bad working environment, and so I was like, yeah. No, it was toxic. So,
what is life like now for you?
I think it's pretty chill. Like, some people have told me that they didn't even know I still live in the area because I'm not really a drinker. So you're not normally going to catch me out at the bars, or I kind of just keep to myself. I have my little candle business that I've been doing, and when I'm not working or not teaching my son how to drive, I just kind of keep to myself.
Yeah. What's you want to talk a little bit about the candles?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing big. I just started.
Promote. It's big.
It's no Yankee, but it's just a little thing that I started when I was laid off, and my mom was having a big significant birthday, and my brother and I threw a big party for her, and I wanted to have favors to give out to people to say thank you for coming out. So she loves the beach. She's always down the shore. So I got her, I got a whole bunch of, I want to say it's like a 5-gallon tub of this gel wax, and it's clear. So I did the bottom of the glass candle with sand, and then little shells, and then I did the gel wax. Obviously, I scented it, and then put a couple shells in the top, and those were the favors. And
nice.
Yeah. So I actually didn't even know what I was doing back then. So I was like, surprised it worked. How did you do that? I saw the idea on YouTube, and I was like, I totally can do that. So I Googled the candle, wholesale suppliers in the area, and there's actually 2, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time because they're like a half hour away. So I could go there and just shop till I drop. Yeah. So that's great, but it's like my bank account sometimes it's like, can you not do that? Yeah. But as you can see by all of my fragrance oils over there, I shop a lot. But it's fun. It's kind of like a stress reliever for me. So I'll just make the candles, and now I'm making the little wax melts that you put in the wax warmers. So I make those. They're, I think, behind you. And then little room sprays and car fresheners. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. So where can people get these? Where do you release these to the public? It's super, super small. So I have a Facebook page that I may or may not maintain that great. But it's called Sensible Wicks, but it's spelled the incorrect way. So it's Sense, Scent, and then SAB as in boy, LE, Wicks. That's clever. So, yeah, I tried to be, a little smart there. So you're a little bit of a small business owner yourself now. Yeah, I did that. I dabbled in DJing. I still have the speakers. They're buried in the closet. So I DJ my brother's Halloween party. He has a pretty big Halloween party every year, which you need to show face at. Yeah, I'm going to put it in my calendar, I think, for this Halloween, that this is just what I'm doing now. Because I would say that there's great music there. That's my... But we're all around the same age because, my brother graduated a couple years before us. So his friends are some of his friends are, people that graduated with us. So everybody's around the same age. And to be honest, I don't really listen to music in English. I listen to a lot of Spanish music. Yeah. So it could be, I don't want to say a struggle for me to find new music, like what's going on now, because I don't even listen to the radio. So I'll see what, new stuff is out and if I like it or not. But I don't like a lot of the new music. I think it's kind of trashy. But so I wouldn't say trashy. I just think that it's like meh. Passable. Yeah, it's just not memorable. Yeah, like what is this? Especially the mumble rap. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. So, a lot of the stuff that I play is music from when we were in high school. Music from like back then and throwbacks. What kind of stuff? What did you listen to? Oh, I don't know. I do have some Biggie. Yeah. In there, like stuff that like when rap was nice, like when you could listen to the 90s lyrics. Hip hop is. Yeah, it's just like 80s, 90s music. I mean, I have a huge plethora of music. But. Did you listen to hip hop like in high school? What was that? What you would get into? Like if you had to name not if you had to, but if you were to name like 1 or 2 artists, is that? Yeah, I listened. I think I was more towards like the hip hop side, and I mean slow jams. Those are my my go-to. Okay, slow jams. I have crazy slow jams. Like I have like Drew Hill, which is a kind of a joke, but whatever. Why? Yeah, people make fun of Cisco, whatever. Or does he have a different name now? I don't know. I don't know. No. Drew Hill's up there. They're like I think they're like top 5 in the 90s. Yeah, Drew Hill, Jagged Edge, 112. 112. Yeah. See, I can play this game. Yeah, and like if you throw them out, I'll remember them, but I have like such bad memory. Like I usually like I can look up the song, but I don't remember who sings it. Of course, you have your some TLC in there, but just all the stuff that Monica. Like, R. Kelly is kind of like controversial. Yeah, where do you stand on that? Yeah, do you have a feeling on that? I didn't on his music. I didn't watch the documentary that was out just because like I don't need to see stuff like that if it really is true. If
You don't
it
need
happened.
it confirmed.
Yeah, like if you did it great, that's awful. Don't
Detail it out.
Yeah, let's just show the world and what these girls were subjected to. So I guess in one way they want to get it out there, but you don't want these women to like relive these things either. But I don't think I have too much of his, because he's always been kind of a sketchy character.
Yeah, there's been rumors for a long time about him.
Yeah.
Maybe not rumors, just facts about him for a long time.
Yeah, we're hashtag facts right now with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've kind of like stayed away from him, but I have everything. And of course, all the Spanish music.
Yeah. Can we talk about your the Spanish influence? So, and I don't know proper terminology, but your son is of Hispanic descent. I was pretty surprised when I first, you start seeing people on Facebook and you start reconnecting after years and years. And you're like, oh, okay, what's going on? It's like, wow. Like she's speaking it, she's eating food. Like you seem to be. I don't want to overstate it, but you seem to be completely engulfed in the culture. Yeah,
I kind of always was. I did like Spanish music when I was in high school, but I wasn't. I didn't really understand it. I took Japanese in middle school and high school, so I mean I know 5 words of that now. But I do want to go back to Yauhan. Do you remember going there?
What is that?
It was like the Japanese market that's in North Jersey. It's almost in New York.
No.
We went for a school trip, and my mom still has the bowl that I bought there, actually.
Really? With Harpster Sensei?
Mine.
Bokunevich Sensei? Harpster Sensei? Middle school?
Yep.
Yeah, there was only one. There was only one.
I don't remember her name. I remember the older Japanese man that came in to like...
Well, I don't remember him.
Do whatever. And because when I would walk home, he would be like right there walking home with me, and he used to have his cigarettes in his shirt pocket. But yeah, we went there on a field trip, and we just got all kinds of like, we were exposed to everything, the culture, the food, everything.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So my brother, he is like in love with sushi, and his friend owns the Bluefin. So I told him we should go there because, he can get the stuff to make it at his house, which he probably won't do. But I do remember that, our little sushi making lesson. But, squirrel, back to where we were going.
No, that's what this is. It's great.
So, yeah, I'm like all over the place. So, I always liked the Spanish music and culture. And then I started getting involved with a guy who was Hispanic. And then I was just like, I love this. So I just went headfirst into everything and like the music. And I will be honest, I kind of wanted to learn to make sure that he wasn't talking bad about me to his family.
Smart.
I was like, oh, what are we saying about me? So I learned by watching the Spanish soap operas with the English caption was on the bottom.
Novellas? Is that what they? Yeah.
That's how I learned.
Really?
So, and then of course being around it, people speaking it, it kind of sticks. And I have a friend now. She's Mexican, and we just go back and forth, and she speaks English, but her first language is Mexican. There we go.
There it is.
Her first language is Spanish, so she's good for me to practice with and just keep involved. And because they say if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
So, which is probably true with my Japanese.
Same.
Because I can count 1 to 10, but
I could do that. I know some alphabet. I could say good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's very small. I can say happy birthday from time to time.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
How do you say happy birthday? On the spot.
Oh God, now I can't. I'm thinking of the wrong things. I'm thinking of like O Genki desu ka, which isn't that.
Isn't that like thank you or I'm good? Or?
Yeah, it's like I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
Or are you happy?
Something like that.
Yeah, and then it's non something because non is number.
Oh.
Harpster Bokunevich Sensei is gonna kill me.
Oh, are you still in contact with her?
We're Facebook friends. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. Are you Facebook friends with any teachers? It's such a weird.
I am from tech school.
Yeah. It's a weird day,
Mr.
isn't
DeLong. But I will say back to Mr. Johnston. He's back teaching at Wissahickon. Really? Yeah, because when my son, I guess when he graduated moved on from 8th grade to 9th grade. They had the whole ceremony or whatever at the high school. And I looked over and I was like, say it isn't so. And I saw them and I'm like, oh my God. I think I took a picture and posted it to Facebook and was like, does anybody remember this guy? Because all the girls were obsessed over him. And Mr. Landis was upset because
took his shine.
Yeah, because he was like, thought he was, the man on campus.
Yeah.
And then it was like Mr. Johnston came in.
Now, I'm trying to think of Mr. Johnston. Did he ride a motorcycle? Did he get in a motorcycle accident and smash his face?
I'm going to say no on that one, only because he doesn't look like it. Either that or he had like a great plastic surgeon.
I feel like maybe Mr. Landis had a motorcycle accident.
He could have. He's still DJing.
Really?
I still see, when I drop my son off at school, his soundscapes or whatever it is that he does.
He used to do the dances, right?
Yeah, they were so great.
Did you go to dances?
I think I went to a semi-formal with a blind date.
No bueno. See, I speak a little.
No para nada.
Lost me.
So it was an experience. And then I did not go to prom.
Me either.
And I think I did like maybe some other dances. I do remember the dance up at Camp Canadensis. Do you remember that place?
Yeah, in the Poconos?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6th grade.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if they still do that.
I don't know.
Because I don't recall my son going, and he's been
you
in
would know.
Wissahickon.
Yeah.
So, because I told him that, I was like, that place was cool.
Yeah, that was a great time. I have a lot of memories about that trip.
Good or bad?
Good. Random.
Yeah.
Random. Like Melissa Shellhammer's dad was our counselor. I think with Justin Hammond's dad.
That, you know what? That makes sense because I feel like that's his territory. Like he would enjoy that. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
And I thoroughly remember enjoying him. Like he was a really fun guy.
He's a hoot.
Yeah,
He
really
is.
fun guy.
He's got no filter either.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Her mom was awesome too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was see, that's what I mean about like, and I knew him as Melissa's dad. So like, growing up with people like that, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I remember you from when you were 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can I go back because this is super interesting because I'm biracial. Mike's kids are biracial. Eric Coxon is biracial. So if I can just continue the biracial conversation, you're a mother of a biracial child. Yeah. What's that like?
I think it's awesome. Just because, I mean, first of all, mixed kids are cuter.
Thank you.
But no hate. I mean, but I just think it's good to, I don't want to say mix and match, but why not have, a mix of everybody out there? Like, not have 100% of something. I don't know. I'm just weird like that. I feel like I could care less if you were purple or orange or whatever. Orange, well, there's one orange person I don't care for. But
that's good.
he's got a high roll. But I could care less.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you're a good human. I don't know.
Was it I mean, you talked about the struggles of being a young mother, but being the mother of a biracial kid, is that hard or?
I don't think so, because I mean, I do get sometimes where people are like, why not? Why are you so engulfed in the Hispanic culture? You're white. What are you doing? Because I like it. And it makes, like, it's cool. For me, I enjoy it. I'm not going to get on somebody because they want to make, crochet a blanket, don't get on me because I want to make some rice and beans. Yeah. So it's not like me trying to be a fake person. This is me, take it or leave it. And I just try and teach my son that too. Like, don't hate on somebody because of how they look, their, skin color, their religion, their, whatever, their background. If they're a good human, they're good for me. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
I know that's probably a rarity anymore because, there's a lot of hate going on in this world, but I feel like there's still, good people out there too. I think we should just keep integrating people back and forth, so then nobody can ever say that they're 100% like purebred. Like, no.
Yeah.
Shut it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say anything now. And that way that can kind of like get put to rest and put to bed. Like,
yeah. In a way, that is a lot of America,
Yeah.
So many different races and generations of ancestry coming together in different times of the world. And
yeah, I feel like that's one thing that we should just eliminate. Like, we have so many other problems that are going on in the world right now. Like, how about like the whole, all right, let's talk about this. Squirrel, how many deaths we've had for, I feel like it's unusually high for our class. I mean, but I'm not out there, like counting everybody else's, but I just feel like we had a lot. I don't know how many were drug related, but I feel like that's a higher priority than the color of someone's skin.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we should just eliminate that as a whole, and then move on to the more important things. Like, let's get this like epidemic that's going on out of control.
It's all over.
It's bad. I saw that they're doing intervention. They did an intervention for the Kensington. And my brother did some work down there recently. And he's like, all you see is just people hunched over, shooting up right on the street. And he's like going to the bathroom right on the street. Like, I could never. First of all, I'm a germaphobe. So, no.
It's not your spot.
No. And it's just, I don't like drugs. I don't like things like that. Like, I know too many people that have died or that have, I've had family that's died from that. So I just feel like that's something that we need to put effort into, besides like, but I guess people could say, oh, because you're white, you don't know. And that's true. I don't know. Like, I don't experience that. Like,
Well,
I don't have somebody look at me and judge me.
I don't think drugs. You mean you don't know about race or don't know about
race?
Oh yeah,
drugs I don't know about, but
yeah.
As far as the race thing, see that's the squirrel again. I'm jumping back.
No, I mean, and that's why I was so interested from your perspective because I don't know that anyone doesn't. I don't know if it's right to ever say someone doesn't have a say in the matter, but I think the family that you have definitely gives you some sort of a say in the matter.
Yeah.
And so I think your perspective on it is extremely relevant as you're raising a young man.
Yeah. And I mean, my family has a lot of, mixed races in there too. So it's not just me. I think between all of us cousins on my mom's side, I don't think there's one pure white baby out there.
Yeah.
So,
and, and that goes both ways, good and bad. I think that, my parents had certain point of views on race. And I'll tell you, I think my dad's point of view a lot of times was off. But I think that can influence, just as much as my mom having a positive outlook on race or positive, comments on race. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's all very relevant.
Well, good. Yeah. I feel heard.
I feel like I shrinked you a little. You shrinked me.
Yeah, there we go.
This is good.
I can't afford to shrink anymore. I'm only 5'1". But yeah,
this was fun.
It was great. I thought I was gonna be like clammed up and not say anything, so it was cool.
No, I knew. Listen, there's one thing I can do. It's talk, and so we'll get into a conversation at some point.
Now we'll be tuning in for the bilingual version. No, I'm just kidding.
You've got to.
Seguimos.
You're going to have to do my parts also in Spanish for me, though.
That would be funny.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or you wanted to discuss that I didn't ask you?
No, I kind of didn't know like what to expect coming into this, but I figured you would just, lead the ship.
Yeah.
And I would just follow.
Yeah.
So, I don't think there's really anything that stuck out that I wanted to discuss. So
okay.
I think we touched on like everything with
it was a well-rounded conversation.
My, bouncing all over the place. So yeah.
All right. Well, the last thing I'm going to ask you to do
is
to sign my yearbook.
Oh my God. That's so funny. I just found my middle school yearbook.
I've got that one too. I didn't bring it, but I do have that one.
Yeah, that's one good thing. Is like my mom saved everything. So, And so I never signed your yearbook. We were beefing.
So
no, just kidding.
So when I first started doing this, I didn't think anyone saw my yearbook because in my head, I can't imagine feeling I don't remember feeling necessarily comfortable enough to ask, what I consider almost acquaintances to write their memories of us in my book.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
But then when sitting here, I think with Eric Coxon, I then realized,
oh, look at all that.
A lot of people signed my book and I felt so stupid.
Yeah, and you sure my signature's not in there?
I'm not sure. Look, even someone put a phone number.
You should check that out. Just hit him up. Hey, new phone, who dis?
That's so funny. Yeah, but I thought it'd be fun to put this in everyone's face one more time.
Yeah. That's crazy to have to go through that. Like, I can't imagine.
Let me read your quote here. No, I won't read it out loud. I'll read it to myself.
Probably like something weird. I'm probably like, yeah, I did it. I'm out of this place.
No, it's pretty
true to me.
Benign and non-discriminatory or marking or.
Where am I? Oh, right there. I look the same.
You do look the same. You really do.
Let's see.
You give a nice little shout out to the fam there. Little quote.
Yeah. CDCL. Now, to figure out who these initials are. So, yeah, you know what? That is so true. And I feel like the quote there is true for like our year, our class year. Like we were just talking about. Oh my God.
Do you want to read the
Look,
quote?
I've gotten so emotional at my age. No, you can read it here.
Okay. So the entry reads, good luck, class of 2001. Live life to the fullest because you never know when your last day will come. It's pretty
deep.
It's pretty deep.
Yeah, and I feel like it hit true for our peeps.
It did.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I can't remember with Eric if we talked about it, but I know with Mike, it's something that we definitely talked about. It's something that when I talk to other people from school, we definitely always talk about, the amount of people that we've lost. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I feel like it's abnormally
staggering, especially for such a small class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I didn't want to end it on such a sad note.
No. So the fireworks were awesome. It was a great show.
Can I tell you, and this is a nice little roundabout shout out to someone else, but one of my favorite things about the fireworks every single year is hearing Martin Brown do the introductions.
Yeah, I never see who is doing it, but I know that he's like, is in charge of that, and it's Joey Brown's dad, right? Yeah.
And I love Martin
Speaking
Brown.
of Joey Brown, I haven't seen him in forever.
I haven't seen him forever. I got to find him.
Where do these people go?
I don't know, but these are people that I have to find.
Yeah.
There's a few people. If you got a line on Saphir, I would love it.
I don't. Oh, Saphir Bhakti.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh man.
I gotta find him. I gotta find Adrian Forbes. So.
I know her parents live, offline.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that, when you hear the name, you're like, oh my God, remember them.
That's the fun thing about this is that it's sparking a lot of nostalgia, which I love. But it's also giving me an opportunity to kind of break out of some of my comfort zones and maybe even do a little weird travel. I
do have something. Ding, ding. Reunions. Have you attended any?
I haven't.
Neither have I.
Have you? No.
Not at all. I feel like you can go to a bar in Ambler and you have a slight reunion. Uh-huh. You can go to, I like to call it Dirty One, but Bar 31. Uh-huh. There's quite a reunion presence there. I don't attend that bar just because I don't smoke. I don't want to smell like smoke. I don't really drink either. Yeah. I do hear that Mike Ganges throws quite a Cards Against Humanity
really?
Shindig over there. Okay. So that goes down. Okay. I do have that as well. We plan on doing that.
Okay. Are you looking for a reunion, like a successful reunion, or are you saying that we can just bypass and go to the bars?
Well, I don't know that that's like the best place because, some people don't know how to know their limit and then you just make an ass out of yourself. But
it's fun.
It can be until you got to clean up after people or babysit. Yeah. Or maybe just because I'm sober, I feel like I have to do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So do you want that for our class?
I know that there was a couple that...
This might be like the best opportunity for everyone in our class to be listening. If you make the call right now and say we all need to get serious about a reunion, they'll all hear it right now.
Do I want to see those people though? No, I'm just kidding. I think eventually we should...
Maybe now they want to see you.
Yeah, right. Hey. I think that we should have one, like a good one. I don't even know.
What's a good one to you? What's a good high school reunion?
Well, I'd say like 20 or 30 year reunion would be a good one, like to where everybody, but you want to have a good turnout. Like you don't want to, and I don't want to be in charge of this. Disclaimer. I don't want to be in charge of this, but just like I know that's a lot of work, like hunting down people and inviting them. And I know that there was something about like a cruise, the cruise thing or the ship. Yeah. And then that kind of just like.
Yeah. I don't remember what happened out of that.
It just kind of like disappeared.
Yeah.
But I feel like we are due for one, but the attendance be?
Well, I got to tell you, we'll see how this goes. I feel like I'm not organizing this thing, but I feel like I think
I hear
what I'm saying is that I just hope that I'm in a good enough position that if this happens, I at least know how to contact people or reach out to people. So
you're volunteering to like spearhead the reunion. That's when Okay.
I'll bring the microphones.
I'm just kidding.
I think if I would like to believe that I can bring everyone a little bit closer and bring up the spirit of reunion.
Yeah.
Through this pod. That would be my, you know what I mean? For everyone to be a little bit more connected, less superficially, more, reality, and excited to see each other. I think that I'm having a lot of fun reconnecting with people.
I think it's good. Like it's very nostalgic. It's a good walk down memory lane.
And it's a different look than I ever had on something like this.
Yeah. I think it's good because the other ones that they did, I think they did like a 5-year and a 10-year or 15 or something. But at that point, people are like, yeah, whatever. I'm doing my life. Like I saw you how many years ago? We don't need to do this right now. So that's why I feel like a 20 or a 30 is a better, or 20, 25, 30. I don't know how they run.
Yeah, I think 20, 30s.
I think that would be a good one just because you've spent enough time away from high school. Everybody is like most likely established in, their life with families, jobs, career, whatever. So it would be a good one to go back and, kind of do that walk down memory lane.
Yeah, it's been long enough. And now I know that they don't hate me.
See, there you go. If you take anything away from it, you know that you're not hated.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you for helping me come to that realization.
You are certainly welcome. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
We did it.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
All right.
All right. That was my interview with Danielle Cataldi. Madison Avenue Elementary was a very small school that existed just for the town of Ambler. And that's where I went to school for the first bunch of years. It only went from kindergarten to 3rd grade. And after that, we all got moved to Shady Grove for 4th and 5th grade before moving on to middle school. So it was really fun to bring up those memories of such a unique little building in our little borough there. Ambler has a very special place in my heart, obviously, being that it's my hometown, but it's just got so much character and it's changed a lot over the last 30 years. So to be able to kind of document some of that stuff was a whole lot of fun, especially for someone that is still living there and gets to see it live and in person every single day. I really enjoyed our conversation about tech school. A lot of my friends went to tech school, and until Danielle mentioned it, I hadn't really thought about how things had changed so much professionally and how many economic bubbles have burst throughout our adulthood since we've graduated. And there were many times that I wish I was confident enough in my life to, change my own brakes or fix my own air conditioning. And so that conversation about applying a trade, I think is extremely relevant nowadays and something that I think most people have a very different perspective. But growing up, yeah, that's just how it was. I think a lot of us were just closed-minded. And if you were leaving school halfway through the day, it's because you didn't want to learn anything. We never thought that there could be something more valuable than learning quadratic equations. And nowadays, I don't use any math in my everyday life, but damn it, I wish I could save $100 and not have to pay for an oil change. check out Danielle's candle business. Support local businesses, you guys. I'm a big proponent of that. Candles, wax mounts, room sprays, car fresheners, Sensible Wicks on Facebook. SCENTSABLE Wicks. I am going to miss Danielle and Derek's Halloween party because I'm headed on an impromptu road trip. And so, Danielle, start the clock at 1 year. I will be at next year's party. I promise. In 2 weeks, my guest will be Alea Bradshaw. Immediately after interviewing Danielle, I headed over to Alea's house. This interview is funny because when I initially booked Alea, I had very clear memories of arguing and name calling, as I'd known Alea for a really long time, and we were two very strong-headed kids growing up. But the more this interview goes on, the more I completely soften my stance, and I really felt like my beef with Alea was like that of like a sister and a brother that argues all the time. This episode is going to go very deep on many issues, including mental health and dealing with trauma at a very young age. I know this was a conversation that meant a lot to Alea. It meant a lot to me. And so I hope you all come back in 2 weeks on a Monday morning to hear episode 104. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We weren't friends in high school. If you're looking for it on Spotify, make sure you use the apostrophe in the word weren't. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Play. We're on Spotify, Stitcher. Everything that you use to get podcasts, we should be there. You can find us on Instagram. We weren't friends in high school. No apostrophe. You can find us on Twitter, WWFINHS. And of course, my social media is REDSHIRTPLAYA. And lastly, I recorded this interview with Danielle back in July, but full disclosure, it is October. And a couple of weeks ago, we lost a graduate of Wissahickon High School, Dwan Holmes. And I'm bringing it up on this episode because I didn't know much about Dwan outside of Facebook, where he was actually one of my favorite people to talk about hip hop with. But after my interview with Danielle and the mics were off, we kept talking about her current day life, and she mentioned Dwan really quite a few times with glowing reverence. And I know his passing affected her deeply. And after seeing the outpouring on Facebook, I realized Danielle wasn't alone, and Dwan was truly loved by many people throughout Wissahickon and Ambler especially. So I'd like to just send my condolences out to everyone that was affected by the loss of Dwan, and leave a couple moments of silence here at the end in his memory.